So gold has broke to new all-time highs recently, and in UK terms, pound terms, we're in the £1,700. In dollar terms, we are over 2,100, almost at 22. So in terms of gold, when I first purchased my first sovereigns, they were around the £230 range, and nowadays, with the current spot price, the melt price, just the intrinsic gold value, is over £400 right now. So very interesting. When I first bought the coins, and I spoke to a dealer who favoured sovereigns, being in the UK, told me about the advantages of those over other coins, and he was basically saying that they've come up quite a lot recently though, so you don't want to get too carried away. £230 for a sovereign, they used to be under the 200s, and just a bit wary of the price there. It could easily go down a little bit, you never know. So I thought that was interesting. That was only back in 2018, around March time. And now the thought of a £200 sovereign just seems ridiculous. But could gold prices go down? Perhaps. But today I've had a look at some different articles from some of the investment banks, and I've got a bit of a summary for you. So I've got some coins here on display, but we're going to move over to the charts in a moment. So as you'll be aware, most likely, if you're a viewer of this channel, that, like I say, gold has done rather well this year. In terms of pounds, I think we're up about 7 or 8%, and a lot of that is coming just within March. So I've looked at a couple of articles, and I've got the price chart here. So we've got JP Morgan, we've got Goldman Sachs, and a few others. So JP Morgan, their price forecast, I've deliberately picked them from earlier this year, so January 17th, and their forecast is mainly focused on the Fed interest rates. So in theory, they're going to cut the interest rates, and therefore that will affect the gold price. Goldman Sachs, they forecast a 6% rise, and again, this was in February, but they're focusing more on the central bank buying. They don't really mention the interest rates in this article. Funnily enough, the number they came up with is the actual, it's $1 off what it is now. So anyway, if we go to the JP Morgan article, this is on their insights page of their website. The performance of gold price chart that they're looking at is comparing gold and its price movements when there has been cuts in the Fed's cutting cycles in the past. So the last three, these are the price movements. So as you can see, the 0 and the 100, they're like the first day of cutting, and they're going to basically focus their thesis on that. So like I say, the current price is around $21.75 in dollars, and you see the general trends here is upwards. So the blue line on this chart that is wiggling up and down, that is after they've cut rates, what happens to the gold price. And in all these three cases, and obviously the average, the price has trended upwards for at least the next year or two. So this goes up to 500 days. So as you can see, obviously no market goes up and down in a straight line, and if it does, it often is short-lived. We often have fluctuations, so we have like a wave up, a wave down, and so on. So when they made this article, obviously earlier in the year, gold price hadn't done this recent rally. So what we basically see here is they're forecasting $2,300 an ounce in 2025, and this is assuming various things about the Fed's cutting cycle. You can see a breakdown here, and obviously some more information on their website. If we go over to Goldman Sachs, their data focuses more on the central bank buying, so your likes of China purchasing a lot of gold in the central banks. Now, they have also this chart here, which shows how they're moving the reserves away from the dollar. Perhaps just a little bit of a trend in the short term. Maybe it's a bigger thing. Who knows? Next, we can look at some technical indicators and therefore the price chart. So this website is gold-eagle.com. Never been on the website before today, but here they're focusing on a technical pattern which we can see formed from around 2011 to the present day of a cup and handle. So they're coming up with this and saying it is a a bullish indicator for the price in the longer term. So the cup and handle, for those who aren't aware, is basically the price comes up into a resistance and then, wave up, wave down, as we said before, makes the cup and then forms a small handle. So you can see like the outline of a cup and handle there, and then we're roughly breaking out of that handle now, expecting to test the resistance line and then push higher. So that is their thesis here, and like I say, it's based on just over a decade's worth of price action, about 13 years. So if we come now over to the actual gold price chart, I'm using the dollar price chart, and this is a trading view. I'm just going to use the measure tool here, and we're going to just take a look at some of gold's price movements in past years. So here we can see about a 3-year period, May 01 to May 04, and so on. So the number in the brackets there, the percentage, that is the percentage gain from the start point to the end point. And as we can see, anyone who's looking at this chart can see that there is a general uptrend. Obviously from about 2013 to 2015 there was a bit of a downtrend, and then it was a bit flat, a bit sideways for those 3 or 4 years following. But we can see, clearly there was a large rise up from the start of the millennium to around 2010-11, and there were still some little dips here and there as well, though. If we look at this one in 2008, from February there down to November, clearly trended down. And again, like I say, there is this other larger trend in around 2013. So in terms of looking forwards at what price could do, we could look at what price has done in the past and extrapolate that further. So if we use the measure tool, you can see that in some cases gold has dropped like 20-30%. This is around 27% here, from around the 2008, and then after that it climbed about 150%. So we could get a drop in price. We could therefore see the gold value going down, but then we could see a subsequent rise like we have done in the past. So if you look at this rally over a 3-year period, gold's gone up 150%. So if gold were doing that from where we are now, we'd be looking at like a $3,000 gold, which might seem a little bit crazy, but things like that have happened. If we look perhaps here, there's a 64% gain in 2019 into the 2020, and if we look, what that would look like from here onwards, perhaps from the recent low, that could put us up around the 2,600. So there's a lot of different ideas. I'm interested to hear yours.